In the vast lands of Middle-earth, four races stand at the heart of the greatest tales ever told. Bound by destiny, divided by culture, yet united in the fight against darkness, the elves, men, dwarves, and hobbits. Tolkien's world is full of life. Today, we journey across ages and continents to meet the major species that shaped the fate of Middle-earth. Elves, the firstborn of Ilúvatar. The elves are the eldest of all the children of Ilúvatar. They awoke long before the rising of the sun, around the time Varda, queen of the Valir, completed her work of setting the stars in the heavens. The elves awoke beside the waters of Lake Cuiviénen. The first sight to greet their eyes was the glittering starlight, which they came to revere for all ages. The first sound they heard was the gentle rush and splash of water over stone, and from that moment, they cherished the waters of the world. They were immortal, ageless, and of unmatched beauty. Elves are immortal in the sense that they do not age or die of sickness and can live forever, but they can be slain or pass away under certain circumstances, like extreme grief or by special curse. But even if their bodies are slain, die, their spirits remain bound to the world, going to the halls of Mandos to wait until they are released or the world ends. They possess a harmony with nature that no other race can equal. Divided into many kindreds, the high and noble Noldor, the golden-haired Vanya, the sea-loving Teleri, their cultures are as rich as their history is long. The elves are master craftsmen, poets, and warriors. They built magnificent realms like Gondolin, Rivendell, and Lothlorien, places of wisdom, magic, and beauty, yet often touched by tragedy. Their fate is tied to the undying lands across the sea, but many chose to remain in Middle-earth to defend it against the shadow. For all their grace, they are also burdened with sorrow, for they have seen the greatest ages pass into dust. Men, the second-born and the mortal. Men, unlike elves, are mortal. Men bear the so-called gift of men, mortality. Unlike elves, men die, released from Arda and the bounds of the world, and have rest from its troubles. Ilúvatar also gifted men with the freedom to shape their own future, being rather free from the designs of the music of the Ainur. However, the influence of Morgoth has caused men to fear their fate and view death as a doom instead of a gift. Though their lives are short, they burn brightly, capable of both great evil and unmatched heroism. Though they were born after the other sentient races, men were destined to inherit and rule Middle-earth. From the high lineage of Númenor came the Dunedain, noble and blessed with longer life than average men, kings like Elendil and Aragorn, who stood against the darkness in the most desperate hours. Others lived simpler lives, like the horse lords of Rohan or the hardy folk of Gondor's villages. But men are not united. Some, like the Easterlings and Haradrim, fell under Sauron's sway. It is often the choices of men that shape the fate of Middle-earth, for in their hearts lies both the power to destroy and the courage to save. Dwarves, the children of Aule. Unlike the elves and men, the dwarves were not among the original children of Ilúvatar. They were the work of Aule the smith, one of the Valar. In the deep places beneath an unknown mountain in Middle-earth, Aule shaped the seven fathers of the dwarves in secret, from whom all their kind would later descend. Yet all did not possess the divine authority to grant his creations true, independent life. Bound to his own will, the dwarves could act only as extensions of their maker. When Ilúvatar discovered this, he came to Ole, and Ole confessed that his heart had longed to create beings of his own, to share in the joy of making. In remorse, he lifted his hammer to destroy his work. But before the blow could fall, the dwarves shrank away and pleaded for mercy. In that moment, Ilúvatar took pity on them. Seeing their fear, he bestowed upon them true life and wove them into his great design for Arda. Still, Iluvatar had decreed that the elves would be the firstborn, and he would not have the dwarves awaken before them. Thus, though they were given life and came to be known as the adopted children of Iluvatar, he commanded Aule to lay them in deep slumber beneath the mountains. There they would rest until the appointed time, after the awakening of the elves. Dwarves were made to endure the hardships of stone and earth. Shorter than men, but broader and stronger, they are unmatched in mining, smithing, and engineering, forging wonders from gold, silver, and the rare metal mithril, unrivaled in some of their arts, even by the elves. Their great kingdoms, Khazad-dûm in the misty mountains, Erebor beneath the lonely mountain, are marvels of stonework and engineering. Proud and stubborn, dwarves value loyalty above all else, and their grudges are as unyielding as the mountains they call home. Though they have feuds with elves, they have fought valiantly alongside them and men when Middle-earth needed unity most. Hobbits, the quiet folk. Far from the courts of kings and the halls of warriors live the hobbits, small, unassuming folk, content with gardens, second breakfasts, and the comfort of the Shire. Standing barely 3 to 4 feet tall, with curly hair and bare leathery feet, they live lives untouched by the great wars of the world, or so it seems. Hobbits had a lifespan somewhat longer than men of non-Númenórean descent, averaging between 90 and 100 years. Early in their recorded history, hobbits were divided in 3 kinds with different customs and temperament. The Stoors grew facial hair and had an affinity for water, boats and swimming, and wore boots. The Fallowhides were fair, tall and slim, an adventurous people, friendlier and more open to outsiders. Finally, the Harfoots were the most numerous and instituted the living in burrows. Hobbits did not have legends concerning their origin. Lacking better evidence, it is suggested that they are a miniature variant of men or of a related branch. Their exact origin is unknown, but in their early days they could have been primitive and savage. The elves with their immortal grace, men with their fleeting yet powerful lives, dwarves with their unbreakable will, and hobbits with their quiet courage, these 4 peoples together form the heart of Middle-earth. Different in every way, yet in the end, it is their unity against the darkness that keeps hope alive.